Okay, we're live. Okay. Woo! Had a little situation there. Had a little, something here wasn't working here, but I got it working. All right, so let me say hi. Okay. All right. Okay. Shoot. Let me make sure the audio is working good. Yeah, it's looking good here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I can see everything's moving correctly. Yeah, that's working. It says excellent condition. Thumbs up. Okay, this round, what do we got for you? We're talking little updates from these past few days, specific some of the fishing that I've been doing here. Of course, we are talking fishing, so hey. So I'm going to shift us over to this last weekend's trip to Denison Dam. And what I want to do is just kind of show you, well, what happened that round. And then from there, maybe shift over to some other videos or something. Okay, so let me shift. Okay. And let me do a little picture in live stream here. Okay. All right, let me take this off. Okay, I think this is working properly. So I'm going to go ahead and kick off the stream and see if I can get some engagement going. Okay. Let me let's see. I think I need it. Okay, here we go. Dam, they're not generating until 4 or 5 o'clock this evening. So we're going to try fishing it for the first time after they've dredged everything. So you can see that all the main rocks and whatnot that we used to fish are gone. And look, all the pools and runs that we used to like are gone also. So whole different game out here. But hey, learning experience, getting to see a place that you hadn't fished before after it's been dredged out. Wish us luck. All right, you can see it's very calm. The water was way up here when we were here last week when they were generating, and now it's down below. But I think we might have to do the floating jig rig this morning. Get that set up here, and maybe I'll be able to hook up with something here short. All right, before I put that floating jig rig out, I'm going to try this. It's the setup I normally use when I'm kayak fishing. It's a slab and jig rig. I'm kind of wondering what may be out here right now, so I might as well just do a quick cast and see. Maybe we can get something to strike. All right, just kind of do one of these bouncy movements and see if there's something that's willing to hit on us. Okay, what I'm describing here is I'm at Denison Dam. This is this last Saturday, and yours truly was, well, we were trying out just seeing what the bite would be like, and what kind of threw me this round was they weren't generating, and so it was a little different setup in fishing. And so let me go ahead and just run it. Slab and jig rig. Let me just get down a little bit below here. Okay. Oh, all right. Felt the tap right there. I think I'm getting into some rocks. All right. I think I'm seeing the shad again. Definitely seeing some rocks. Okay. All right. Let's just kind of cast it out here. I think I've seen a lot of shad in the water again. All right. All right. I'm gonna try just bouncing it and see. Just to see. Doesn't hurt to try. And if not, might even try that rattle trap again. Did pretty good with it previously. Okay, let's go out this way. Okay. Just kind of bounce it up here. Let's see what we got.
This is like classic fly fishing opportunity here. See a lot of movement down below. I think I'm gonna head down further south. Go head down river. Down the river. Alright, we're a little bit further down river. We'll go try over here. Looks like an excellent opportunity to maybe try some fly rod fishing here. See how it goes.
And again, this is a Dennis Dam. And I tried different setups. In this case, I'm just using my 7-foot spinning rod. Slab and jig rig, just kind of playing it by ear, seeing if something will hit. All right, bear with me. I'm gonna take the headphones off. I don't really need them. Anyways, I'm working this particular area. It's just downriver from the tail race itself. You can see they're not generating, and the action was pretty slow. In fact, I ended up striking out. However, luckily someone else who was doing much better did well and learned a few things in the case of the topwater bite. Okay. So, yeah, right now I'm just kind of checking out the area. I can see that the water or the river itself has changed from I last fished it. Or correction, since I last fished it before they did all the dredging. I can see a lot of movement in the water. I can see a lot of fish activity. The bottom line, I'm not getting any strikes.
All right, we're gonna go with a floating jig rig. So the float, there's the jig. It's a fluke on there. And let's see if we can get something to strike on the surface here. Floating jig rig.
Yes, I tried different things and worked hard at it. I believe the generation schedule was planned for some power generation, I think about 4 or 5 o'clock later that evening. I got there at first light, 6 o'clock. I did see three, 4 other fishermen out there, and they looked like they were doing pretty good. Catching some striped bass. Hey, what's up? What you fishing for? We're just doing a little recap of last weekend's trip to Denison Dam. Trying to go for some striped bass. And some of the things that I'll show in this round, we'll show you Denison Dam, and then we'll shift over to some pond fishing that I've been doing these past few days.
All right, we've been here about, I'd say about 45 minutes, and no luck so far. Haven't seen much, but I did see some folks with some striped bass, but I don't know when they caught them, and they were further down the river here. So, sun's coming up. Got a beautiful sunrise coming over here on the Red River, on the border of Texas, Oklahoma. And well, we're just kind of about here right now. You can definitely see that the water is low compared to what it was when they were generating, so that's cool. And they're not generating till later in the day. So, and I think it's supposed to rain too. So I figured just get a round in while we have a chance here in the morning and see what bites. And if not, well, we tried. Okay.
Well, it's a whole different game when you're fishing in the
Top water.
when they're not generating. And this individual here
All
ends
right,
up
we
catching
got
one.
one
In fact, he
given
deep
to
hooked
us.
it, and
Another
he
gentleman
offered it for
got
me.
him on a top water. May have to switch to top water. What, you seen that? All right, they're here.
This individual had one on the line, breaking off one of his top water lures, and luckily he had a buddy with a.
All right, we're starting to see some
airboat and hooked him up with
maybe
his
the
lure.
evening
You'll see that later.
Light is on. Just saw one jumping out of the surface here. Don't know what he was going for, but hopefully it'll be on here in a moment.
And it was weird. They wanted a top water lure, but specifically one with a kind of a dark back and a bone colored bottom and sides. It was a Rebel top water popper. I had a pencil popper. Let's see, a couple of other top water lures, and they wanted nothing of it. It was all that bone colored white with the darker back. What's weird is the week before I went there during the generation, and I was using a rattle trap, or the cotton cordell version of the rattle trap, with that same color pattern, and I caught 2 striped bass, as well as foul hooked, as well as lip hooked or mouth hooked some shad. So what does that say? In the last 2 trips, I would say if you're going to go there, definitely make sure you keep a dark black back lure with a whitish, bonish colored sides and bottom. And that seemed to be the go-to pattern when I was fishing Denison, as well as watching some other folks hooking up.
All right, let's try it again. A lot of boats today.
It's the individual where he lost a lure, and luckily his buddy on an airboat who was fishing hooked up with was able to give him his lure back. Pretty cool. And I'll go over some little changes to the area.
Something's biting here, and
since
if not,
I last fished it. So
I think I might
for this,
do a little live.
Let me stop this real quick.
Streaming. I put on this box.
Let's see. Okay, so what happened is about, I'd say about a year ago, they started dredging the channel and reconfiguring the river itself. So some of these been fishing the area for 20 plus years, and they have definitely changed the layout of the river. It is definitely not what it once was, because those key rocks and pools and kind of holes where even when they're not generating, they would tend to hang in there. Striped bass, largemouth bass, smallmouth, the hybrids, the white bass, they'd all kind of be congregating in these different pools. But now they've dredged everything. So the one channel that used to be over there on the Oklahoma side is gone. There was another channel, I think they used to call it Charlie's Rock, where I like to stand on and do a lot of switch rod striped bass fishing with the switch rod and some clouser minnows. That's gone. And so things have changed. However, I'm learning it again. Just kind of treating it like a whole new river. There's some key areas that I've keyed off on. And what I'm doing at this point is relearning the river, at least this section that I'd fished over 20 plus years now. Instead, what you have to do is just kind of get a layout of the land, especially with the water generating, the water flow, if they're releasing water, if they're just generating, just seeing where that water level goes. That's kind of the first thing that I'm looking at. The next thing is when they aren't generating, or during those drought years, hint, 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 you definitely want to hit some of your key areas. We had 2 major droughts in the area that brought the water levels down to unreal levels. I mean, my local lake over here at Lake Lavon near Allen was dry for almost 2 years in some sections. And basically I was able to just kind of scout the area and remember that contour. Well, same holds true here. These last couple of trips that I've gone now at Denison, since they did that change and dredged out the river, I've been able to just kind of take some key points, take some landmarks, and kind of use them as reference points to tell me something. And I'll call those out here in a little bit, but that's kind of the thing I do. So you visit the place, you check out the water flow, the conditions, when it's high, when it's low, and then after a while, once hint hint, Google does their drive-by and satellite moves and updates their systems, I'll go on Google Earth and I'll take a look at the area and just kind of get a lay of the area and see if it just correlates to what I've seen, as well as mark off those landmarks. And then right off the bat, I'm going to know a few things. So just in this last 2 trips now, 3 trips, I picked up the following. If you go by the 3rd stairwell, 1, 2, 3, 3rd stairwell from the face of the dam on the Texas side, when you hit there, you're going to immediately be right in a rocky area. That's where what used to be a key spot for me that I used to go to fish and be some pools and whatnot. Now it's just a bunch of rocks, but I do notice there's a pool just to the right of it. If you head downriver and you stand right across the river to the Oklahoma side to that secondary parking area, it's the area that's left of the area that they've just created, or they recently created, to where you can launch your boats and whatnot. It's a nice big wide sloping area. But to the right of that, as you're facing the Oklahoma side, is a parking area. If you mark off that parking area and get directly across from that location, and you look straight down, when they're not generating water, you're going to see the start of the shelf. Okay? And that shelf, it's sort of like a sandbar that's by the rocks. And it runs all the way down to what used to be the bait house, but it got blown away. And then later on, they had some railroad tracks and pilings there. It runs almost to the second power line, just again, right across, but this time the point on the Oklahoma side. So right there, it tells me there's going to be a little shallow shelf, sandbar area, that once they're generating, there's going to be some water flow in there, and probably there's going to be some striped bass kind of lurking in that area right on the edge of the seam that's caused by the fast water flow and the slow water flow where they meet. Okay. And oh, by the way, that does explain why I was catching striped bass instead of going straight out when they were generating water, or generating power and kicking up that water flow. Instead of casting straight out, I was going upriver, downriver, parallel or at acute angles with the rattle trap, and I was hooking them. I was getting striped bass attacking my lure. At the same time, there was a ton of shad that were kind of picking at it as well. So I had two things going for me. I had that water flow, that seam where the fast and the slow water meet, and I've got striped bass kind of lurking in there, getting ready to kind of run out there and pop whatever goes by. And then I've got a lot of shad that's kind of ready for them to take. So I've got the food, I've got the right conditions where they're going to be hanging out, and oh, by the way, they're not way out there going deep into the middle of the river. Instead, it's more parallel to the bank. Okay, so that's what I've learned so far, and I've got like a couple of places there. I need to go on the Oklahoma side and go check out a few things as well. I haven't gone yet because my Oklahoma license, I'm a Texas resident, my Oklahoma license expired, I think it was in June. So I need to go and update it. But unfortunately, the price went up. It's like $80 now, I think. So I'm kind of hesitating a little bit, but I'm definitely going to get one here sooner than later because you just can't pass up some of the trout fishing opportunities, especially the year-round fisheries that they have in Oklahoma. It gives yours truly a chance to catch trout here in the South, great state of Texas, instead of having to make that run down to New Braunfels, which is about a 4 or 5 hour drive. I can run up the border to Oklahoma and hit the Blue River during the stocking season, or I can hit Beaver's Bend. That's about a 3 hour drive from where I'm at, or I can head up to Lower Illinois. I think that's about 3.5 hours. All right, so let's go ahead and run the video and keep talking fishing because yours truly can talk fishing. If I'm not fishing, I can definitely talk about fishing. All right, so here I ended up having to go down below and hook up with stuff, and I ended up finding this pretty cool lure. Okay, here I just want to describe again what I've learned. I just mentioned about if you go off the third stairwell, bam, there's all these rocks. Okay, this used to have a little channel that would drop in there and a deep area where I could fish. Now that's gone. Instead, you have a nice wide open area out on the just off the beach and the boat rampish area on the Oklahoma side. There's a couple of sandbar or rocky areas that kind of are higher than the surrounding area, so you've got some good spots to fish. And oh, by the way, when they were generating, I definitely saw the guide boats as well as the recreational fishermen on that seam, and they were hooking up with some nice sized striped bass. And it looks like you've got that convergence of the fast and slow water with the water circulating around when it goes into that boat ramp area and that beach area. What I noticed is right on that seam is where the striped bass were lurking, and guess what? The guides were kind of pointing themselves or anchoring themselves in that position, and they were fishing downstream and hooking up some nice striped bass. But oh, by the way, when I went there this round, when the water was low, I could see a couple of nice rocky spots that are right by that seam as well. So that's like two things. You got structure as well as different water flow. You got striped bass that like to move in fast water, and they've got a spot where they can kind of lurk, waiting for something tasty to go by. So that kind of explains, well, these are guides. They do this for a living. I'm gonna go and key off the guy. He's found the seam in the water is producing fish. Well, guess what? If I had a boat, I definitely would go there. All right. All righty. All right, let's go ahead and run the video. Oh, this is just rerunning it back to the beginning here. this is what I started out that morning. It was 6 o'clock. Here, let me, yeah. Yeah, so it's first light. I'm gonna try to fish the area, but as the sun's coming up, I was anticipating some fast water generating, but I didn't look at the generation schedule, so I went up there blind, and sure enough, they weren't generating. Okay, I did notice that the where I'm standing, when they were generating water, all two turbines on the line, the water line uh, was, I'd say, about maybe 10 feet away from where I'm standing, with a just a slight slope. Now you're looking at about maybe a 15-foot drop. So heads up, when they start generating with the turbines on the line, you should anticipate a 15-foot, 10 to 15-foot jump in the water level. And so here, I brought two rods. I got a surf rod as well as just a medium heavy spinning rod. And I hadn't had the surf rod set up yet, but I did have the spinning rod set up with some slab and jig rigs. And so, of course, I was going to go ahead and do it. This is the same rod that I like using when I'm kayak fishing. All right, slab and jig rig, where I've got a slab, and then I've got some crappie jigs tied on sabiki style so that they stay away from the main line and they don't get tangled as much, if not at all. That's worked out well. And I saw all this movement when I first came up there, so lo and behold, you might as well give it a try before I start tying on some other gear. All right. And the intent was I was going to initially start out with a floating jig rig and then shift from there. But before I did that, I went ahead and tried out this guy right here. And what happened? I got nothing. All right. Well, that's fishing anyways. From there, when I switched over to the floating jig rig, same thing held true. It was a pretty rough go. But luckily, there was an individual who was doing well on some top water lures, and the key takeaway there was the top water lure that was key was it was a Rebel top water lure, bone and black color, with the black being the back and the bone being the sides and the bottom. And he seemed to be doing really well. In fact, he ended up breaking off and losing his lure, and it was one of these ones that they don't make anymore. Rebel, but they do make a newer variant of it, but it has more of a scaly side versus the smooth side that he was using. And well, he tried other lures after it broke off, and they did not want to strike as much as that bone and white one. I tried blue and white. I tried red and white. I tried this fluorescent color, a blue and white. I didn't have any Rebel poppers. But I did have some pencil poppers. Let's see, some other variant of poppers. I had the bomber lure as well, and that just didn't do it. And so when I switched over to, let's see, just trying different things, it all ended up being for naught. You want to make sure you bring top water. I would say bone and white, black and white style lure, and definitely plan to fish it. Howdy, howdy. I see some folks joining. Hi. Just talking fishing here, just giving some updates on some recent happenings. This is my trip last week to Denison Dam, where I was fishing before they started generating water. I think they ended up generating water later in the evening, and early evening, about 4 or 5 o'clock. All right. So anyways, I ended up not doing so well, but luckily someone hooked me up with a striped bass that I was able to do a little catch and cook deal, and that was pretty fun. All right, so let's see if I can find some other video and get us up to speed on what else I can show you. So let me switch over cameras. yours truly. Okay. Um, my setup here is a one-man show here, so bear with me as I switch over. Let me see if I can find these other videos that I want to show y'all. Okay. I fished Denison Dam, yes. Tail race fishing. I was debating about should I do some kayak fishing or should I switch over to striped bass fishing? Well, I was in the mood for striped bass, so I went striped bass fishing. This weekend, I'm not sure. I'm thinking about maybe doing some kayak jug lining, but I'm still playing it by ear. Oh, my battery's running low. Shoot. Oh, bummer. Let's see. Okay, I gotta think about this one. I gotta find a way to power this as well as still give you some info here. Holy cow. Oh man, I'm gonna have to kind of think on the fly here. I think I might be able to do this using this other setup. Okay, so let me go ahead and run the video again. Okay. And while that is running, I'm gonna go ahead and try shifting us over to another format. Okay.
And look, all the pools and runs that we used to like are gone also. So whole different game out here. But hey, learning experience in a place that you hadn't fished before after it's been dredged out. Wish us luck. And you can see the water was way up here. We were here last week when they were generating. Now it's down below. But I think we might have to do the floating jig rig this morning. That up here, you know, you're short. Floating rig is out. I'm going to try this. The setup I'm going to use when kayak fishing, a floating jig rig. I'm kind of what may be out here right now, so I might as well just do a quick cast. See, maybe get kind of see movements and see if that's when they have a rig. Oh, rocks. All right, I'm seeing the shad again. Seeing rocks. Okay. Let's kind of get out here. Think that water again. All right. All right. I'm gonna try just pumping. Doesn't hurt to try. I'd even try that rattle trap again. Did pretty good previously. Okay, let's go this way. A lot of movement down below. I think I'm gonna head down further south. Go head down the. All right, we're a little bit further down river. We'll go try over here. Looks like excellent opportunity to maybe try some fly rod fishing here. See how it goes. All right, we're gonna go with a floating jig rig. So there's the float, there's the jig. It's a fluke on there. And let's see if we can get something to strike on the surface here. Floating jig rig. It's kind of weird, but
Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna stop the stream here real quick and see if I can up things real quick, because it looks like test 1 2 3. I'm not sure what's happening, if you can hear me or not, but bear with me. I'm gonna go ahead and shut this stream down. Okay, actually, let's go back to picture here. Picture mode. All right, and then I've got to bump this guy up and see if I can get you this one, because it looks like my battery's running low on the ATEM. Got to do this on the fly. Okay, here we go. Okay, I think I've got it. All right. Let's let me pull this one. Test 1 2 3. Check. Okay, we're still good. Okay, bear with me. I just make some adjustments here. We're going to shift over to some urban pond fly fishing. And, well, yeah, fly fishing. Okay. And let me make sure we can hear some audio. Okay, let me see if I can hear anything. All right, let's see if it took this time. Yeah, okay, we're back online. Whew. Let's see. Okay, it says we're connected. Yeah. I don't know what happened. All right, let's keep going. Whew. Got disconnected for some reason. I don't know why. Now I got an ant on me too now. Ouch. All right, let's go find a fish. Okay, let's go back this way. Short cast. Man, this is a weird one. Had a rain messing with us, and then we had
Little disconnection on the streaming platform. So let's see if we can move on over here. Alright, we're still connected. Cool. We'll just kind of work our way over. Okay, let's see if we can get one on the line. Okay. Alright, okay. Earlier I had some nice bluegill lurking in this area. And then I did catch a couple of bass here as well. So, I don't know what's happening now, but let's see if we can coax one to hit. Okay, using an 8-foot Reddington 4-weight and an old Martin 65 fly reel. Okay, and here we're just mainly fishing for whatever strikes, but we are kind of edging more to bass. See if we can get a bass to strike here, maybe. All right, pop it out there. Okay. Make sure we're still connected. Okay, we are. Okay, good. All right. Okay. All right, let's go. Let's go. Let's get a fish on. Fish on. Man, I left my polarized glasses. Should have grabbed them. Probably would be helpful right now. So kind of spy what's lurking in the water here, maybe. Okay. Oh, there's those dragonflies again. If I can cast over there where they're hovering, maybe I'll get a bass that's tending toward them, because they'll tend to follow these dragonfly at times. Okay. Take it over here by the tree. No. Alright, let's go further out. Okay. Had a slight rain delay and then some technical issues with the connection. Alright, but hopefully we can get a bite here. Alright. Howdy, howdy. Yeah, we got disconnected. Did I get a fish yet? No, not yet. Not yet. But it's coming. I can feel it. I sense it. Come on, come on, come on. Let's go, let's go. Alright, let's work it quick. Let's see if we can locate maybe a bed of these bluegill hanging out. Oh, I'm stuck on the ground here. Snagdola! Where are you? There you are. Okay. Here's a nice clear spot. A lot of feathers everywhere for some reason. I don't know why. Okay. Cast here in a moment. Alright. Okay, let's give it a try again. Yeah, I have to check to make sure that I'm staying connected with the chat, because it'll say I'm still connected on the one app, but I know I'm not streaming. This is what you're using here, or what I'm using. A 2-hackle crackleback with no body, so I just tied it straight onto the hook, and it pretty much simulates a bug, a dragonfly, and then it also simulates a minnow. All right, try these quick pulls and switch stuff here. See if we can coax one to strike. Alright. Alright, I'm seeing some movement, but I'm not seeing anything coming up behind it right now. Okay, but I am seeing some movement in the pond, so that's promising. Seeing a lot of turtles too, though. Alright, come on, come on. Okay, something just swiped. There we go. Something just tagged it. I think it's a little bluegill. Let's go over here by the tree. Come on, come on. Come on, tag it, tag it, tag it. No. Alright. Okay. Pop it underneath that tree again. Oh. Alright. Make sure we're connected. Yep, we're connected. Alright, cool. Alright. Maybe I'll do these long pulls right here. It's kind of weird. Been getting some consistent bites along this for most part of the year, and then now for some reason it's like barren, completely barren. I don't know why. Even during this time of day, usually I could get something to strike along this stretch. Let's go back over here. Okay, let's try back in here. Pop one underneath the tree here real quick. See if I can coax one to strike. There's those bugs again. This is what gets them striking at times. There we go, there's a strike. Ah, he swiped it. I think it's a little bluegill again. A little blue golly. Okay. Let's go back out here. Okay. Give it a lot of commotion and see if I can get them to attract them. All right. Using a size 10 streamer hook. So maybe I might not catch as many of those little guys and maybe get more of the bigger guys. Yeah, normally I'm using a size 14 hook, and for these little bluegill that kind of hang out here. Okay. Oh, what was that? Oh, it was a cicada. Just dropped from above. Look at it right there. Huh. Is that an actual... Oh, man. Ah. Jeez. Oh, whew. All right, let's see. Yeah, a little cicada. Let's see if I get him. Look at that. Just fell right there. Maybe a big bass will come hit it. Big bassalito.
I definitely hate that.
Let's get back out here.
Hooked into a tree fish.
Come on, Mr. Fishy. Talk to me, talk to me, talk to me, talk to me. Right here, right here, right here. Just bring it in close. Sometimes they want to be close. All right. Looks like not today. All right, let's just kind of pop this out there. Okay. Get it way out there. All right. You can do a lot with these little 8-foot rods. I got a 7.5 one also that gets a pretty good cast going. 8's not bad at all. It's pretty light. Just kind of pop it out there, get another cast in, and see if we can coax something in. Go check.
Oh, Cole's mom. If I buy both, am I spoiling her?
At this price, you're spoiling.
Chat. Stay engaged with you guys. Oh man, we got a bunch. Okay, what fish did you get? Nothing yet. Greetings from Indonesia. All right, cool.
All right, bear with me. We got to go through the little commercial.
Fish 8 hours.
Commercial break.
Skunk. Bummer. Yeah, I fished this morning too and got skunked. 6 hours this morning and caught a 4-pound catfish. Nice. Definitely like catfish. Doing 2 recipes for catfish. One is a beer batter fish fry, and then I've been doing this spicy Thai thing on a bed of cauliflower rice. That's been coming out really good. In fact, it's probably what I would have done if I went and did some kayak fishing, jug lining out the local lake, but kind of held off on that because potential rain in the forecast. I think we got a 50% chance later on this afternoon, so kind of didn't want to get caught in the middle of the lake in a kayak in a storm. Another outing I went where I did get caught in there, but luckily it was just a cloud. It was just a cloud passing by. All right, let's see if we can find these blue golly. All right. Okay, all right, let's go move on. Pond has cleared up. They put that blue dye stuff that kills off all the algae, or at least slows the growth down. So that's been helping clear the pond up and allow me to go back to fishing, be it ultralight bait casting or back to fly fishing with some streamers and other flies other than a popper. This is what I'm using today. Okay, little crackleback. All right, howdy howdy. I see more folks joining. How's it going, everyone? Okay. And this is one of those ones where I just kind of come out and see what's biting. I wonder what's in the feeder creek or the canal. this little canal that runs from the upper pond or the main pond to the lower pond. Sometimes there's something lurking in here. Let's see. Just kind of drop it right over here and see what happens. Oops. Got a lot of line here I gotta clear up. It's one of those narrow spool reels, so if you don't put it on even, it'll really hang up on you. Alright, there we go. Put it right. Oh, tree fish. Woo! I got some junk on it. Alright, let's clear that. Let's go back to the main pond here. Alright. I think I got some grass on it. That ain't gonna work. Alright, let's go back here. Okay, let's see what we got lurking below. Let's see. Oh man, I got a wind knot. Bummer. Better clear that. Don't want a wind knot. That's what happens with a wind knot. They break that easy. So let's clear that, because we definitely don't want to risk our chances breaking off because of that. So let's clear that real quick and I'll get retied. You can see this is that same line I use, orange high vis 6-pound strand mono for bait finesse style fishing on my BFS gear. Well, guess what? It works just as well as a 6-pound tippet for fly fishing. No need to spend tons of money for those fancy tippets. This stuff works just as well. At least for bluegill and bass and other things biting your... Well, actually, I even use it for trout. Stalker trout. So maybe if you got those wild, finicky ones, they may not like it. But I've not had any issue fishing strand mono as a tippet. Plus, it's light on the pocketbook. Alright, let's clear that. Definitely don't want a wind knot. That will cause you to break off really quickly. Weakens the line big time. Alright. Alright, let's check the chat one more time before I start fishing again here. Alright, how's it going, everyone? Howdy, howdy. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Let's go and do a quick cast. Let's take out some line. Oh man, something just spooked over here in the shallows. Okay. I'm just gonna work it in quick. See if I can coax one. There's some rocks here, so, and it's shallow, but a lot of times you'll get a bass or two just lurking right here in the shallows, kind of running up on chasing some bass, or chasing some bait fish. Okay, let's go in. Take out more line and get this thing moving. Come on, fishy fishy. Mr. Basilito, where are ya? Okay. I think I saw something swirling over there. I better cast again to it. Okay. Oh, I'm hearing some thunder out in the distance. Bummer. Maybe it'll pass. Maybe it'll pass without getting us wet. Okay. Right here. Let's see if they'll hit. Okay. Let's go right over here by the canal. Or right at the culvert or whatever that gets into the canal. Nothing there. Oh, there's that thunder again. Bummer. I did that the other night. Only got one that night too. Alright. Let's go back around. See what we got lurking below. Howdy, 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 howdy. See if I can find them and then maybe stay in that spot till they quit biting. Okay. Alright. Oh, there's one. He hit it. Little guy hit it. Little bluegill. Very light strike on the bluegill. Okay. Come on, come on. Let's see him hit it again. No. Guess the bluegill doesn't really want to play today. Okay.
If you're a man over 30 who makes at least 150 grand a year and you're still embarrassed to take your shirt off at the pool, your number one priority should be to get shredded while you still can, because
all right, we're back.
Just do some quick twitches here maybe. Okay, I can see my fly in the water from this angle, and the water's fairly clear. but I don't see anything coming up behind it. I am seeing a lot of turtles. A lot of turtles. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's flip over here. Okay, and this is what I'm using. Martin 65 single action reel. Okay. Let's see. This is probably about 40 years old. I got an old reel, and then this one's maybe about 10, 15 years for the Reddington Pursuit rod. All right, let's go check the chat. Check the chat. Stay engaged here with y'all. Howdy, 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 howdy. All right, let's try over here. I'm gonna stand off from the bank so I don't spook anything that might be lurking nearby. Okay. See if we can coax one to strike here. Nope. No takers there. Okay. Alright, we'll just oh, there's a turtle. Mr. Turtle. Okay. Let's go back out that way. I'll just start working this shoreline here as I walk up closer to the bank. And maybe we can coax one in. Alright. I'm getting tangled. Yeah, my line management is terrible. I just let it fall behind me and keep walking. And hopefully I can untangle it if I get a big one on. Okay. Let's go back out there. So far, just these little bluegill been tapping at it. I haven't gotten anything substantial at this point. Alright. We're fishing over here in City of Allen in Texas. Bethany Lakes, series of 4 ponds. Okay, let's go and flip it over again. Let's see if we can get a strike. Come on. I'm seeing some movement in the water now. Something just moved. Let's go back this way. See if something's going this direction. Okay. Did get some nice bass the other day. The other night, I mean. I was fishing the Quick Trip night bite, and I got one on the line. Actually lost like 2 or 3 before I finally hooked into that guy. But I had to call it short because we had a thunderstorm moving in on us. So bummer there. Okay. But we'll see if we can locate a fish or two here in the pond. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, nothing there yet. Come on. Okay. All right, something just swiped it. That's another one of those little guys. Let's take it over here by the trees. Oh, more thunder. It's out in the distance. Okay, try right here. Right on the other side of this tree, it's going to get really shallow. But guess what? Sometimes you're able to catch them in the shallows like that. Just had another swipe. Like a bluegill again. All right. Okay. All right. Let's just take it right in here. See if I'll get one to come up and hit it. There he goes. He hit it. Ah. Little bluegill. Size 10 hook. I think it was a little bit too big for this guy, but maybe there's a bigger one lurking below. All right. Okay, I can see that. It's very shallow over here. There's like a hump. All right. Like you can see the bottom and everything. And then right over here, there's like a little lane that I can cast to and run the fly through. And hopefully get one to strike. Okay. All right, let me check the chat real quick. Make sure I answer the mail. Okay. All right, we're still going. Thanks for bearing with me and seeing if I can get a fish on the... Oh. Looks like we got missed a stick bass. I think someone called it that the other day. A stick bass. Alright, well, let's keep going. Let's try over here. Alright. Go way over. Okay, there's an open area here that might be promising. Sometimes there's some bluegill hanging out over there by the drainage deal. All right. Okay, there's the back pond. I was saying it's a series of 4 ponds.
So today's the day. I've got my RTA mock system and Coyote appliances.
And this is the back pond is what I call it, just for ease of reference. It's the furthest most.
Okay, bear with me here. I'll skip it here in a moment.
All right. I'm going to just drop. Oh, there's a strike. Okay, maybe these guys will strike this thing here in a moment so we don't strike out. Struck out this morning when I fished the dam. Denison Dam. There's a strike. Okay, little guys. Gotta get my fix in. Gotta get my fix in. Here we go. Let's see if we get them to hit. Right here. Come on. There's usually a bluegill lurking here. Okay, something just picked it up. Nah. Dropped it. I suspect it's those little guys again. Could be those little guys again, which can be frustrating. There's those bugs or whatever dragonfly things that the bass like to eat. Oh man. I think that's north of us. Okay. You can hear the thunder clouds and thunder in the distance. Okay. Nope, no takers there. Okay, more turtles. Okay, had one tap it. Let's go over here to this other side. Oh, wait a minute. Let's go back here. All right. Let's go right over here and try this spot. Okay, so there's like rocks there. It gets shallow, but then it kind of drops off a little bit. And sometimes you can coax one to hit if he's, look at that right there. That's a little bass going for something on top. Let's see if I can get him to hit this. Okay. Little bass jumped over here. Let's see if we'll get him to hit. He was right more to the left. Yeah, right there. Let's see if he sees it. Pretty cool when you see them kind of cruising along and then you throw your fly, your lure or whatnot, and next thing you know, they're making a turn, headed right for your fly. That's always cool.
Or good evening.
Little bluegill hit it. Try it again. Drop it right over here on the undercut. See if anyone's gonna come up and hit it. No?
Same old phone? Nah. Upgrade to the new Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Zoe?
Yeah.
We're meeting for coffee?
They're gonna look.
Okay. This is cool. I can
videos that we had last year so we can remember what we did last year and maybe carry it over to this year. All right. Really excited. Stay tuned. I plan on doing some live streams on the pier itself. All right.
this time.
So bear with me. I'm going to switch things out here in a moment.
Under the lights, we're just kind of playing it by
just
ear.
gotta
We've been here
repoint
since
yours truly's.
Sunday, and yours truly have caught 2 sharks and basically a bunch of bait. Saltwater fishing's pretty fun, and right at this point, we're fishing the night bite, fishing some some shark rigs is what we call them, but basically we use them to catch bull red, drum, etc., as well as whatever bites. So That's what the title of this live stream is fishing for whatever bites, and give you an idea what's around. You got a bunch of these needle nose as well as or needlefish, along with some speckled trout, sand trout, and there's a lot of sand trout. I'm using a tandem rig also, playing around with it. So let's just kind of toss it out here, and let's see if we can see what's going to bite. So just fishing under the lights over here in the Texas coast. You can see some needlefish going by, and right now I'm getting some hits. Did see a bonnethead go by earlier, so that was pretty cool. All right, and then I can feel something hitting. So, yep, there's a hit. I'm trying to double up on sand trout at this point. And pretty quiet night here at the Galveston Fishing Pier. So there's the pier, and this is our rods and whatnot set up. We've got 4 set up for whatever. Oh, there's a hit. Whatever may be biting, and then been using these little tandem rigs right here to catch these guys, little sand trout. There's no size limit on them, and they work really good for bait. And I've been putting them in the little aerator that we have. So there's another little sand trout. I'm gonna go put it over here in the aerator. We got a pier cart, and our setup we've been using has worked out for us pretty well over the years. And some other thing that we're doing at this point is we've got the bait casting reel set up so that we can use Velcro to hold them in place as well as lock them. See, that is cool. All right, cool. Hey, thanks for joining tonight. We're just out here trying to fish for whatever bites here in the Texas coast at the Galveston Fishing Pier, right here. Galveston Fishing Pier in Texas. And you can see there's various lights that you can fish under. And over the course of the last couple of days, what we found is when I'm fishing for these guys, at least fishing for some of our bait, specifically the sand trout, it seems like these tandem rigs are working really good. Hey, what's up? Hey, howdy, howdy. Just out here fishing the night bite at the Texas coast Galveston Fishing Pier. And what I've been noticing is they want this spec rig, but it's the one with the monofilament construction versus the one that has the little plastic tail. Okay, for me it's 9:36, perfect to watch. Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's pretty early right now, but tide says this is the time to be fishing at night, and it's brutal hot right now here in Texas, like 100 some odd degrees. I think we're going to hit 104 today. And earlier I could see a lot of whiting, croaker, and whatnot. But right now I can just mainly see some needlefish moving about, and then the occasional speckled trout, sand trout. But this is on the shore side of the pier. We're on the T-head here in Galveston. And let's go back over here where our setup is. And here there's a lot more activity. So you can see a lot of needle nose fish and whatnot. And let's see, let's just pop it out here. Oh, wait, I just went over my line. We got several rigs set up right now, so that's the fun of it, is you just gotta do some line management while you're out here. Okay, and what I'm using again is the H&H spec rig. You can get here locally, no problem. All right, this is what they're hitting on, at least for me. Some other folks did better with some larger size baits. Okay, I like Texas, excellent. I came heavily, you did so well. Okay, get it, brother. All right, nice. Okay, let's try another cast here. Okay, little tandem rig, spec rig. And I'm letting it sink. I can feel them tapping it right now. Still letting it sink. And now I'm just gonna jig it over there, some movement. Those look like some speckled trout or some whiting. Did see a bonnethead go by, and this is our basically second night out here, and one black tip and no, 2 black tip sharks so far we've caught, but hopefully with the action will pick up. We did see a lot of black drum and red fish earlier this morning, and then the morning bite was kind of slow for us, mainly because there were a ton of dolphin or porpoise out and about, basically scaring the bait away, and the bite definitely died after that. So now we're back out again trying to see what we can do. Hey, what's up, you guys? All right, cool. Hey, howdy, howdy. All right, there's another tap. Okay, another tap. Okay, and you might be able to get a glimpse of them striking it as I let it kind of jig over here below me. You might see the occasional fish, but so far the bite's been kind of steady. It's mainly been hardheads. Did see someone catch a nice speckled trout, 19 3/4, so that was a keeper. And nope, there's a hit. Okay, let's see. It's looks like a little guy. I'm gonna bring it in slow and see if I can double up on him. Well, no, let's just bring him in. We do have a fair amount of bait here, and what's kind of crazy about this is look at this jig. It's just made out of the jig head and this monofilament deal, and it's been around forever. I used this as a kid when I was fishing further down the Texas coast, Port Aransas area, and that's all I want to hit today. I tried the other tail deal, the little plastic grub one, and that didn't work. And for some reason, at least for these little sand trout, that's all they want. So let's go put this one back in the bucket. The handy dandy bait bucket right here. And our setup, we use it's not so fancy as some other folks, but basically this cart. Make sure you got your pier net, and make sure you got your gear set up. And we're using basically weed eater line for our rigs, and malin wire for the wire portion of it. And that so far has worked well for yours truly in not losing a fish. If we lose it, it's not because of the gear, it's because, well, yours truly messed up. All right, but at this point, we're just really kind of seeing what bites. And what's cool when you're fishing under the lights at night is so much activity. Earlier it was even more active, but at this point it's just kind of, there we go, right over there. Some more needlefish back here. Out in the shadowy area, I'm seeing some movement. Out in the distance, I'm seeing some movement as well. So good possibility of catching something big. And I did see some nice sized bull reds and this morning. They just were lockjawed. They did not want to eat strike. So at this point, we're just kind of passing the time, enjoying a little fishing at night versus in the heat of the day. So you guys on the chat, sounds like even though it's late here, it's about almost 3 a.m. here in Texas. Just wondering who else is on, and hey, maybe where you're at. Give me an idea as to who's on watching YouTube videos at 3 a.m. in the morning, at least in the local time here. Because yours truly is out here fishing tonight. Okay, we plan to be here next few days, and depending on how conditions are, we'll try doing some live streaming, or we'll definitely get a video out on our trip. We do this every year. I think this is our 15th year doing this now. Every year we seem to learn something new and try something different. Oh, there's a nice hit. Yeah, that one hit right on as soon as it hit the water. And he's wiggling, and he's moving about. All right, let's see what he is. Seems bigger than the other sand trout. All right, bear with me. Okay, let's lift him up. Okay, this one is another sand trout, just bigger. Okay, speckled trout, there's a size limit. Sand trout, well, you gotta measure them and make sure they're legal. Right, let's go take them off. Okay, and then it's that H&H spec rig. Okay, wish I was fishing. Oh yeah, I always wish I was fishing. And any opportunity I can get to go fishing, definitely take it. So someone once asked me, when's the best time to go fishing? My standard answer has been, when you can. Because you don't know when you won't be able to, well, most times you won't be able to go. So when you can, just do it. Go fishing. All right, let's go catch something. Let's try it again. H&H spec rig. It's the mono variety, not the tail one, not the Beetle Sparkle. They're not hitting that today. They're hitting these babies. I got an orange and I got a chartreuse. Okay, these come in two to a rig, tandem rig, and you can get them over here locally easily. HEB, Walmart, whatnot, like a couple of bucks. And, oh, there's another hit. There's another hit. Okay, he's playing with it. Okay. Now, one of my favorite things is fishing under the lights at a pier. In this case, we're over here in Galveston, Texas. Galveston Fishing Pier, 91st Street. Now, looks like we got some folks over here catching. All right, so got other folk catching stuff. All right, nice. And we've been swamping out baits as things go, just to make sure that our rigs have some fresh bait. And we're hoping that the next bite's coming soon, because I think the high tide or something is coming. And we plan to be fishing here pretty much most of the night. I think high tide is 5 a.m., I think. Yeah. All right. All right. And then keep an eye out in the distance here or in the water. Occasionally you'll just see something come up that's different than the rest. And other times you'll see something big go by. So far, the biggest thing I've seen this morning, or at least this round, has been those red drum from this morning. They probably went easily 40 plus inches. And then that bonnet head, I'd say is maybe a 2 to 3 foot bonnet head. Okay. And bonnet head only had to be 24 inches to be legal, but you only can catch one a day. All right, okay, there's some more guys just kind of popping around. Okay, let's go move this up here. Okay. Let's see, and you can occasionally see something striking on top. I think they were chasing a bunch of these little fry and whatnot earlier. Okay, there's a hit. More of those needlefish. Okay, let me just drag it in slow. All right, something's chasing it now. Little guy. All right, let's move back to the other side of the pier here real quick. Take us to these other lights. So this is a T-head pier, and we're on the T-head itself. And now let's just cast this way. Okay, I'm fishing under the lights over here again, but in a different direction. And here I like to just kind of twitch the rod. There's a hit. Okay, and it's sort of like I'm jigging, at least at an angle. And then as I get closer to the light, I'll just kind of sit and just kind of pop it up and down and see if something will pop. Okay. Okay. Nothing. I can feel the tapping. Okay, there's something tapping it. Yeah, there he goes. Ah, I lost him. Little sandy. Little sand trout. All right. Okay. And those are what we're also using for bait when we're trying to catch whatever else bites. Okay. So we'll start out with fish bites and different spec rigs or sabiki rigs to catch our bait. Then we'll swap around and add that bait to our rigs, and then that is how we fish for at least fishing for whatever is biting at a particular pier. In this case, the one here in Galveston. Oh, I got a tangle here. Let me bear with me as I fix it. Got a little tangle. And I am using some braided wire, 65-pound test. And I mainly do that because I also use this pole as double duty to do underwater camera with my Go Fish cam or Water Wolf camera. and I use that braid to just let me at least feel a little bit more safer from losing the camera. Okay. Okay, let's just flop this around. Okay. Alright. And in the background, you may see a fish or two moving about. Oh, there's some more comments. Let's see. I see big fish swimming down there. Oh yeah. There's some biggies here. I call them bruises. Okay. Let's move that around. Okay. Let's go Let's go back over here. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, this time I cast it out and I'm kind of doing this vertical twitch thing. All right, and then down here, could be a mix of whiting as well as some croaker. They've been kind of moving about all evening. Nope, there's something striking on top. Okay, so a lot of stuff happening under the lights. Okay, and let's just see if something's happening under my hook. All right, there's some more out there. Okay, let's go back over here. So right there. Let's see if they'll hit. All right, you got one. Oh, nice. What is he? Menhaden. Nice. Okay, well, wow. Menhaden. All right. Someone got a fishy. Oh, and I just lost a fishy. All right. So it looks like we got some more bait to be had. Okay, and there's a needlefish. Oh.
Hi. Bait?
Where? Yeah, that was Menhaden. Yeah. All right, so let's see if we can get some fishes. Hello, hello, howdy, howdy. All right, appreciate y'all joining tonight. It's kind of early morning for most folks. He's snagged it. Yeah. Nah, Menhaden don't bite. No, they plankton eaters.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back over here. It's like a big shad, but not. We used to call them bunker over there in Virginia.
We'll go back to
All right. Okay. All right, so we've got 4 poles all set out with our bait rigs right here, and then
good shark bait though, is it?
yeah, it's good.
Oh?
Yeah, it's nice and oily. Okay. All right, and then here you can see some of the needlefish moving about. Those are fun every once in a while when you get them on a hook. Okay, and then again I saw a bonnet head go by, and so far we just caught some hard heads and a bunch of sand trout for bait, and at this point we're just kind of playing it by ear. There's a hit. There's a hit. All right, that looks like a little sandy. Little sand trout. Use your finger to twitch the bait. Nah. I just use the rod to twitch it. All right. It's one of those ones where you just, oh, there's a good hit. Okay, they're here, and I'm noticing on the seaside versus shore side seems to have a lot more activity, but then someone's caught a Menhaden, and he's got his cast net, and now they're just kind of trying to snag him. So that's pretty cool. And here I'm just gonna keep popping the lure up and down. And listening for our reel clickers to sound if we get a nice bite. Other than that, the rest of the time we're either kind of chilling on the chairs or doing this right here. Just fishing with lures or fish bite to catch our bait. All right, there we go. Some more needlefish right there. And if I see, oh, right there, something just chased something above on the surface. If I see anything, I'll call it out and see if I can get closer to it. And at this point, it's just been a nice, steady night. The humidity's dropped, and that's helped. And there's a nice cool breeze or light breeze to at least keep us going. But we have been hydrating a lot. Gotta stay hydrated. Okay. Let's see, there's another one. A lot of needlefish. All right. And early this morning, there was a bunch of mullet that were in the surf area, and there was another something, I don't know what, hitting it, big something. There's a hit, okay. And it seemed to be, seemed to be hitting it as I twitch it, and then as I stop, and the jig, the tandem rig slows down or slowly sinks. Right there, this guy just got a quad 4 on sabiki rigs. All right, 4 on sabiki rigs. Definitely load up on them. I do have a sabiki rig set up, but I don't know. I don't feel like messing with a sabiki rig right now, and I kind of having fun with this little jig here. Okay, there's a hit. There's needlefish chasing it, and then there's something bigger behind it. Let me see. I'm gonna let him sit. Maybe something bigger will hit it. Okay, no? All right, let's bring him in. All right, let's bring him in. All right. So yeah, you could probably load them up on sabiki rigs, no problem. But they're biting. Okay, let's just kind of put that there. All right, more bait. Put it over here in the bucket. Okay, and let's go catch some more while we're waiting for more bites. All right, some more needlefish over here. More needlefish, more speckled or sand trout. And all right, and then there's the little jiggy technique that's pretty successful when you're using sabiki rigs. Okay, and when you get up close, just kind of pop it up and down and let them hit it. All right, it's fun. The other day, I think I heard someone say they caught like 100 of them. That's a lot of fishies, but we're only using them for bait because we want to get something bigger. Okay, let's just keep popping it. All right. There's another pop. There, he's on. All right, he's on good. This one's, I think, a double. No, just a bigger one. Oh, he got off. Okay. That was a little bit bigger. And here I brought the bait caster right here, the same one I use for fishing bass for Senkos. Yeah, I use it weightless Senkos. This is a rig I'm setting. It's a 7-foot rod, and it works well for bass. So that's pretty fun. Fishing Senkos, and then we're just kind of popping it. Michael, edge high. Howdy, howdy. All right, there's a hit. There's a hit. Another hit. Okay, he's running. All right, this one's bigger than the other ones, so let's get him up. All right, he's bigger. no, I don't want to keep him for bait. What is he? He's a big one. Sand trout here. Are you keeping the sand trout? Are you keeping a sand trout? No? You don't want him? No. Okay. All right, he's too big. I'm gonna let him go. We want the smaller ones. Smaller ones for the bait what we're using, because for some reason if you sand trout don't do well when you're freezing them. So we're out here on the road and not able to freeze them and put them on in the ice chest. They get really soggy afterwards. So that's why we mainly use them for bait at this point. Okay, Kalyani, hi. Okay, how old are you? I don't know. I'm old. There's like several things that I always wonder. They ask how old you are, and then they ask where you're from, and it really doesn't matter. What matters more is we're fishing. Okay. And bite's kind of slow right now, but in between we can enjoy what's biting under the lights, and that's why I kind of titled this live stream Fishing for Whatever Bites. And I'll normally live stream while I'm fishing the local ponds. Oh, there we go. Got a runner. Got a runner. All right, let's go see what this guy, he's actually running in on me. Let's go pull the Velcro. Velcro strap, he ran in. We have to pull the clicker, close it, and let's see. Yeah, I saw. It's just, I think he got the bait, because, yeah, he got the bait. All right, he ran in on us. He stole that bait quick. So that's what we're listening for, is for that real click of sound. He took it quick too. All right, and the bait we had on here was one of those sand trout, the middle portion of it, about a 2-inch section of it. So, well, right there. But here we go. This is the DIY spider wire or spider sinker we're using, 3 ounce. And this is the weed eater line that I use for this. It's the 0.095, and then I got some malin wire, right? So, and I put a haywire twist, and we've got these circle hooks. And here in Texas, you're required to use non-stainless, non-offset hooks when you're fishing for sharks on the Texas coast. Yeah, so that's one thing that we do, is we gotta follow the regs, or don't want to get the old ticket from the game warden. And here I'm gonna grab one of these fish that we had for bait, and I'm gonna go bait up real quick. Actually, I'm gonna bait up the other one too. The other one that I had was, I believe, a little piggy perch deal or whatever. Bear with me. Let me just get them cleaned up real quick. We'll use the middle sections for this one. And I'm gonna rebait the two, because the one on the end has been kind of playing around for a while. Okay. And we're using these bait caster reels, but it's the one you use for salt water. And one is an old pen, and then the other one is a newer pen reel. And we're using boat rods. We used to use surf casting rods on the pier, but we find that the boat rods actually give us better leverage when we're fighting some of these big guys right there. And so we just put it on there, make sure you have the hook exposed when you're using the circle hook. And let's just get this baby out there. So I'm gonna cast it out. Bear with me. Okay, I'm gonna close the with a clicker, or not clicker, but lock it basically, and then turn on the reel clicker, get it tight. Then I'm going to pop it and put it in free spool, and I'll set it down. And here I'll use this little Velcro strap, because even though we have the reel clicker on, just in case, we'll also put a little Velcro strap to make sure we don't lose our rod. Okay. All right, let's go to the other one on the end here. And here's the bait again. And this one is one that I had some piggy perch on. Let's see. And okay, let's go and pull the Velcro. Yeah, there's like been about 3-4 times now we've almost lost our rigs because the fish just took it, and we were fishing it with the closed bail. All right, and this one's an old school one where you use your thumb to level wind it. The other one that I just cast has its own built-in level wind. Well, this one's use your thumb. All right, and this one I've got used to fishing these things for over the years, just because that's what I fished with. All right, here's the piggy perch that we were using right here, and we were using it live. I'm going to go ahead and pull him because he's been sitting in the water for a while, and we're going to go back out and send out this piece of bait. And this one's got a bigger hook. This is an 8/0. Okay, again, I'm going to put it through and make sure the point's exposed. And let me go in and wipe my hands real quick. I like keeping one of these rags nearby. All right, and let's get this one cast here shortly. So bear with me. Let me get this one set. Okay. All right, it's out there. Let's go and lock it in place again. Okay, so I make sure it's in the spot I want. Pull the reel clicker, and actually let me tighten it a little bit. Okay, pull the reel clicker, set it on the pier railing. Give me a little Velcro strap. Okay, and one thing about the Velcro strap that I like doing, that a fishing buddy told me, is to lay one under and then the one over, so it makes a little quick flap that you can just pull up and grab your rod fairly quickly. And that helps us from getting messed up. Look at there, another sabiki rig, 4 on the sabiki rig. All right. Okay, so, oh, drop my towel. All right, well, don't want to bore you with a bunch of slow action, so let me see if I can catch one more, and then we'll close this one out. We'll still be out here, just we'll just shut the live stream down because we got to get to fishing here. And oh, just had a hit, another hit. Okay. All right, so that's what it is right now. Put on a sabiki rig, you'll get them. You get them pretty quickly, and then other than that, right over there, back over there, back over here, you'll see a bunch of these needlefish moving about. Let's see. No, there's a speckled trout right there. All right, nice size speckled trout came up. See some jellyfish too. So, all right. Well, appreciate y'all joining, and hey, stay tuned. We'll still be out here this week. Based on the opportunity we have, we'll be doing another one of these live streams. All right, so this round, whatever catches, we're using the H&H spec rig and basically these guys for bait. All right, there's one for them to tell his buddies to come back. All right, next time we'll catch y'all there. Good luck, good fishing.
Want to manage your business all in one place? Try Intuit QuickBooks.
With key business tools under one roof, you can save time and stay organized with help from AI tools and live experts.
I don't know if this is gonna stick or not.
Okay, bear with me. I'm gonna go and adjust and get us back to the
Really torquing me off.
whatchamacallit, the other
Oh, well,
dealie.
we'll just see what happens. I'm gonna switch flies again. Way too much for this big indicator that I got on, so swap it out. Yeah, that little airlock indicator that I was using, for some reason, it's got a hole in it, and it'll start getting waterlogged on me. So, in this case, I'm gonna have to just basically take this one off. This is just way too big. Maybe if I was using my switch rod or something, but this thing is just way too big for this little 4-weight. So we'll just put this one up, and I think I might have one other fly I can use, and we'll see if we can get something on the line with it. Now that it's
For the
starting
City
to
of
get a
Anna
little
Fishing
overcast,
And we're playing this
see,
simulcast to the
yeah, here we go. We'll use this guy.
Real Cast Fishing podcast. And tonight we're going light because there's potential for some thunderstorms later. And it's a pretty quiet night, windier than yesterday. And we went light because I may have to run out of here real quick because of the rain. So I just got my spinning boat rod set up right here. I know it's pier fishing, but I'm using a boat rod. And I like the leverage of a boat rod on a pier. And basically brought some spec rigs to see what's biting. The spec rig is going to be topped off with some fish bites. Let me go show you that real quick. Okay. And when I'm saying I go light, just got bait bucket, some gear to help me take fish off the hook. And then this is the fish bites that I'm putting on there. Okay. And other than that, let's see what takes us. Got the next couple hours here before it starts raining. So let's see. Let's see what's lurking below the lights. And we've caught a couple already. They're mainly just sand trout, but there is occasional speckled trout mixed in there. And when I'm fishing in the wind like this, I pretty much cast a tandem rig, spec rig. And again, I'm going light. Oh, there's a hit. You can see some baby hard heads or gap top maybe, little fry. And it's low tide right now, but it's supposed to pick up till about, I think later on, around 5, it'll come up to high tide. Then we'll have the, that thunderstorm to deal with. That's what I'm looking for. I do see some lightning out in the background, so just got to keep an eye on it. And it's kind of why we went light today. We did get a stingray that we'll be using for hopefully some bait and get some sharks later. Okay, there's a hit. Okay. And again, here we're at Galveston Fishing Pier on the Texas coast. Fishing just basically spec rigs at this point, mainly because we went light because we're anticipating some change in the weather here shortly. Let me go fix this. Got a little tangle here. Bear with me. All right, for those that just joined, we did this last night and it went pretty well. Had some good stuff to see. Ella, hi Ella, how's it going? Okay. And just fishing tonight on the Texas coast. Let's cast out the tandem rig. I got it topped off with some fish bites, and I'm just letting it drift into the current. I can feel the hits. There's something popping in. It's mainly just sand trout at this point. There are an occasional speckled trout in there as well. Okay, hi. What fishing for? Whatever I get. Okay. What's behind me? Okay, so I'm fishing the Galveston Fishing Pier off the 91st Street and seawall. There's the T-head. Right side of the pier is being worked on. They got damaged from that last set of storms. Left side is where we set up earlier today as well as the other night. We've been here a couple of days now. And then we shifted over further down the pier, and down this way we were able to catch some nice, a stingray that we're using for bait. And then I've got a second rod set up here with some sand trout for some bait. I got a nice 8/0 circle hook and just seeing if whatever bites, just being ready for that. But mainly this is just let's come out here, get a couple hours in fishing before any change in weather hits us. And fishing speck rigs, topped off with fish bites. And here, because it's windy and there's a good current, I'm just gonna let it drift in the current and just kind of keep the tension on the line. I'm feeling hits right now, and I am seeing some good amount of fish moving around in the under the lights. And one of the things that we learned about fishing piers is you don't have to go to the end to catch fish. Sometimes it's better just to kind of go wherever you see the bait fish are, and sometimes the troughs and whatnot that you'll see from the breaks and the waves. Down below, right here to the right, there's a whole bunch of these, like a little hardhead or gaff top fry. See, I see some questions coming up. Let's see. Bear with me. Okay, what time is it there? Oh shoot, let me look at my watch. It is, let me see, 12:40. And then the water looks gross. Yeah, it's kind of clobbered right now. It'll clear up later on once we get some good stuff. Texas is really super something. Okay, well, we're fishing. All right. Okay. And so I'll read out comments, but the ones that don't have to deal with fishing, we'll skip those. All righty. Okay, what else is going on? We're over here in in Galveston. Anyway, Galveston, Texas coast. Fishing live for whatever bites using just a speck rig and fish bites. Okay, I'm letting the current do the work at this point, and I'm just maintaining tension on the line, feeling for any bites. Had a couple of hits there and then they stopped. There's some looks like maybe some croaker or some whiting that just went by. A lot of activity under the lights. Yesterday it was pretty much, it was a lot calmer. And I guess this trip so far we've caught 2 shark, that 1 stingray, and a whole bunch of bait, sand trout and whiting and croaker. And what we do when we fish these piers is we're mainly targeting sharks and bull reds. We do see a lot of the bull reds and black drum earlier this morning, as well as the day before, moving about. But we did have to deal with some porpoise or dolphin that kind of shut things down, scaring all the fish and whatnot away. We are seeing some pretty good catches on speckled trout and sand trout. Just got to figure out what the pattern is and what the bait is. Okay. All right. Bear with me here. Got to have me a little light beer, Lone Star. Because while you're fishing, you might as well have a little brewski or two, since I'm just right down the road from here. Oh, wait a minute. Let me go ahead and show you the spec rig I'm using. So the other day I was using the other spec rig that has it's called a beetle tail. Beetle, it's like a little like plastic deal here, but here I'm just kind of using one that's made out of this pretty much monofilament hair-like thing. And that seems to be what they were wanting. In fact, ooh, it's missing its fish bite. Let me go ahead and rebait it. Okay. When I find that I can get some pretty decent hits with and without the fish bites, but topping it off with fish bites tends to give it a little more something for them to hit at. And in this case, these come pre-cut in a wedge. And what I'll do is I'll take one of those and I'll split it in half like so, and I'll put that on the spec rig, okay? And for those that are monitoring on the audio portion of this, just going to call out, it's basically the H&H spec rig some fish bites, pre-cut, and all I'm doing is halving it, okay? And I will save this one since there's already one there, and I'll put the other one on. And all I do is just kind of top it off, give a little something something for them to pop at when I'm casting. All right. Okay, bear with me, I gotta see what other comments have come in. Does the Lone Star make you skip that one? Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, well, you guys don't want to talk fishing, I can ignore that portion and we'll keep fishing. All right. Anyways, if you do have any comments, questions about fishing, definitely put them in the chat. That's what our channel's for, is basically learn to fish by our trials and errors, because we're just average Joes, not your professional fishermen. But we are avid fishermen. Okay. Okay, it is windy, so I do have a mic covered to help with the wind, but it's pretty windy right now. Okay. And we'll just kind of drift the bait through. Yeah. So the other night I live streamed about 2, 3 a.m. in the morning, and that group seemed to be more into fishing than calling out stuff. So it's a lot more engagement about fishing and a lot more ignoring the other comments that come in. But just FYI, the more you guys engage, the more the channel as well as the video gets posted. So keep posting, keep chatting. I'll take a look at the fishing comments. And here is one of those sand trout that we were using for bait that did well. All right, so any fishermen out there, do call out where you're at and see if I can look in the chat here. Okay, blah, 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 some more junk. Yeah, there's a lot of folks that don't want to talk fishing. Okay. All right, well, let's keep fishing then. All right. And what I'm doing here is I'm casting it and I'm doing a slow retrieve back just to maintain the tension on the line. And I'm actually just letting the rig drift through the water. And I can feel the fish tapping at a lot of light taps, occasional bigger tap. That's working pretty good. Okay. Let's see if something's kind of drifting by. Oh, there's some specks coming in. There's also those little hardheads down this way. Okay, getting a little tap again. All right. Bigger speck. All right, this guy's running with it. Oh, he just came off. All right, so sometimes if I want to double up, I'll just purposely leave the water or leave the rig in the water longer because the one fish on the top or whatever jig it took will attract another one to strike it, since they do travel in schools and they are getting pretty aggressive at times. Okay, speckled trout just came up and looked at it. Okay, and okay, bear with me here real quick.
I'm sorry.
It's okay if there's anything on, go for it. All right, so in the background you can see Galveston and you can see some lightning. That's what I was talking about, why we went light today instead of coming in with the other gear that we use for catching sharks and whatnot. And so that's what I'm keeping an eye on. It's supposed to hit here around 4:15, 5 o'clock local. And that's mainly when there's only a small opportunity to fish. I'll just go light. In this case, I'm just basically using a bass rig that I use for fishing Senkos in fresh water. Do have several other rigs out, but this one's my just, well, come out here and just play around deal. And, you know, it's one of those things where when's the best time to go fishing? Whenever you can. All right, let's see some of these other comments. Blah blah. Do you have deep water? It's not very deep here, at least at this here in this location. Water's fairly shallow. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna cast. I'm gonna let it drift and just maintain tension on line so I can feel the hits. I'm getting taps right now. Okay, I'm seeing some speckled trout coming up in the lights. It'd be perfect to be coming out here with some, maybe some popping corks and some live shrimp. But usually like fishing further down south in the Port Aransas area where I grew up, we tend to just, back then we were just using spec rigs and Johnson minnows, and that was pretty much all you used to catch your fish. And at this point, I got some good hits right now. I can feel the line moving. There's one on right now. He just took it. There's another one on now. Okay, he's still on, but I'm gonna let him play around and see if he'll attract another one. Okay, and I may switch out my bait on the other one. I went with a bigger size sand trout, and I'm thinking maybe I need to go with a smaller one. All right, let's bring this guy in. I did see someone catch a speckled trout last night, went about 19.75, and there's some new rigs on speckled trout that you gotta keep an eye out for. Gotta be bigger, basically. Oh, all right, catch and release, catch and release. Okay, let's see, put that, yeah, I got one on the hook already. All right. And I'll probably rebait here soon, and I can show you how I set up the rigs, because we use weed eater line when we're coming out here catching the smaller sharks and whatnot. And so far we've caught some, that's the biggest one, about a 5-foot shark, and that weed eater line, had no problem bringing that in. Plus using that mailin wire has been a game changer for yours truly. Before I was using 7-strand and this other wire, and I just couldn't get the crimps in there. And when I started shifting over to weed eater line and mailin wire, we've caught bull reds, we've caught black drum, as well as shark, no problem, as well as we got that big stingray from last year. So do take a look at the channel, COAF Fuel Team on YouTube, and you'll see we got a lot of fishing videos out there. Okay, all right, this is what's out here right now, some sand trout. Okay, these have no size limit, speckled trout do. Okay, all right, let's see what the chat's saying. Put them on the hook, use live bait. I did that, just in the case. Let me go ahead and show you the rig that I'm using here, and this is the one when I'm kind of in a hurry and I don't want to bring the full gear that we use. So I'm using a short rod. This one I used back when I was in California, and I use it at the party boats and whatnot to fish for different things. And right now I got a huge sand trout on there, and I'm gonna switch it out. And there's the lightning thunderstorm that I'm watching, because it's supposed to rain here around 4 o'clock, and we're just gonna do this for a couple hours, because bottom line, it's the best time to fish when you can. And there is, but he's kind of beat up, so we're gonna go ahead and feed him back to the fish, or the other fish. Okay, so I've got an 8/0 hook, circle hook. Okay, and here in Texas, it requires a non-offset hook, as well as non-stainless. I've got some mailin wire, tough to see, but that's mailin wire. Okay, and then I've got 0.095 weed eater line. And then I think I've done some videos on it, but for the sinker, I'm using a 3-ounce called the claw sinker. I make them out of the Do It mold. Okay, but much cheaper than buying them, because these go for like $3 to $7 at times, and I can make these pretty cheap. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this one here and just kind of standing by, and let's come over here and see if we can get something to put on there for bait. Ooh, I just saw another speckled trout go by. Okay, and we're fishing live here at the Galveston Fishing Pier in Texas. just about an hour away from Houston, Texas. Yours truly is from the City of Allen. City of Allen Fishing is our name of our channel, and we're up in Dallas, Fort Worth, and this is our annual run to Texas coast that we like hitting Galveston. I think this is our 15th year doing this, and it's been fun. All right, I just lost those two. I had two on the line, and for those that just joined, I'll describe what I'm using. It's the H&H spec rig. Okay, right there is the view of the jig. Okay, got nylon, the hook, the jig head, and I've got a strip of the well, that's just a piece of it, but some fish belt bites, and then here's the other piece, and they're tandem rigged. They come as a, you know, a pair tandem, and I'll pre-cut some these fish bites here, and let's go ahead and rebait this one. So last night I was fishing without the fish bites and having no problem. Today I'm just kind of topping it off with the fish bites. Probably could catch some, but I definitely increase the numbers when I do that. Okay. And bear with me, it's pretty windy tonight, so I'm hoping that the microphone cover that I have is working to where at least you can hear me clearly. And I'll be commenting a lot, mainly because this is also a podcast that I'll repost on our podcast, realcastfishing.net. All right. Watching from Missouri, outstanding. What are I fishing for? Whatever bites, but right now it seems like sand trout and maybe the occasional speckled trout. There are some croaker in the mix moving about, as well as some whiting. Oh, there's a hit. There's another hit. Okay. And here, normally I would be doing a little twitch move like this, but because it's windy and I can take advantage of the wind movement, I can just cast it out and let the wind and waves do the rest, and mainly just keep tension on the line, so if I do feel a strike, I'm ready for it. Initially, I've been here, this is our, let's see, today's Wednesday. It's gonna be Wednesday. What was it, the other night we caught 2 sharks, as well as, well, and then the night before, it was mainly just some bunch of bait that we were catching. Had some good hits, but unfortunately, weren't able to seal the deal on those guys. Okay, so here again, I'm just kind of reeling it in slowly. And I'm just using the same rig that I use for Senkos when I'm fishing up over there back in North Texas. Okay. All right, fishing at 2 a.m. Let's see, is it 2? It's only 1 a.m. But we were here last night into the next morning, and you know, when you're on the coast and you got some time, we're fishing as much as we can. And there is a chance of thunderstorm here around 4 or 5 o'clock. So I decided to just come out here real quick, see what's biting, see what's under the lights, and see if we can catch a fish or two. And there's a hit right there. Okay, he's running. Oh, he came off. Okay. Little sand trout. And like I said, someone did catch a speckled trout last night, a keeper-sized speckled trout. And the thing about both the speckled trout and the sand trout is when you're traveling, we're up in Dallas-Fort Worth area, when you're traveling fishing for these guys, those are ones that are pretty tough to freeze because, you know, normally we'd fillet our fish, put them in the cooler and take them back with us, so we got some fresh fish when we get back to the home front. But with speckled trout and sand trout, they tend not to freeze well. They get a mushy consistency after they are defrosted after freezing. So those are fish that's better to catch or to cook as soon as you can without freezing it. So I'd say within the next 2-3 days after catching them, definitely want to go and cook them up. Okay, let's go ahead and all right, let's go ahead and just kind of let it drift. So I'm letting it drift again. feeling for some bites. Okay, and if I don't get any bites, we'll just recast. Simple as that. All right, here is one that I want to re-tag with some fish bites. So let me just go ahead and get, he's a little tangled too, so let's fix that. And here's the fish bites. Just kind of top it off on there. This one's getting pretty beat up. I may have to cut off the little portion of the fish bite that has that cloth, mesh cloth or whatever that makes it hold on really well. All right, bear with me, let me grab them. Okay, and when I'm going light, all I did was bring the bait bucket, and it's my tackle box at this point. And there's the fish bite, okay?
Yeah.
And I'll go and cut them in half and see where that takes us. So, okay. So I'll just cut it in half real quick. Okay. I like doing the strips instead of the chunks when I'm using these spec rigs. Seem to work out pretty well. Bear with me. You gotta just cut through that mesh. Okay. And we tend to use fish bites a lot because that's the bait that gets us the bait that gets us the big fish. And last year we got a nice size stingray. Took a while to bring that one in. Okay, bear with me. Okay. So let's just grab this one and top him off. And I think I got some more people chatting, so let me see if there's any fishing related chats. Okay. Masterful. Fishing at night seems kind of lit. It is. Big fish bite at night. It's the best. Nice. Hobby I'll pick up when I move to Florida. Nice. Florida's pretty cool. Nobody else is out. It's nice and quiet. All right. Yeah, it is. It is nice and quiet. But right now there's a fair amount on the T-head. But I think it'll die out here soon because I think some of those folks been fishing all day, and we have. But we also took a break in between because it does get hot. I mean, today I think they hit 100 degrees again, 100-degree temps. So definitely brutal here on the Texas coast at times, but luckily right now it's actually pretty comfortable. Got a nice cool breeze. It's a lot of humidity still, but not as bad as it can be. And well, the fish are biting, so that even makes it that much better. Okay, there's a hit. It's another tap. Okay, he's tapping it. I'm watching the line. I'm using 65-pound braid. Okay, and this is the one that I'll repost the video that I caught a stingray with, a pretty heavy stingray. We ended up having to use the pier net to bring him back up. And here I'm just kind of working the lights. So over here at the pier, there's lights that they have going into the water, and what I'll do, depending on time of day and what I'm fishing for, I'll typically just kind of walk the lights as I'm coming onto the pier, head all the way to the T-head, see how the bite's doing there, and then what I'll look for is right over the lights. You just look down in the water and look for the fish. Okay, you'll see them on the surface. You'll see them kind of popping about, and that's probably a good indication that maybe that's where you want to try fishing, because where there's bait fish, there's bigger fish. Especially when you're watching the waves and whatnot. Watch where the current's tending right now. So it's basically a 45-degree angle from the pier at this point, and it's coming into the beach. And what you can probably play with is just that the different troughs that you'll see give you a heads up as to where to possibly fish in some of the deeper holes. And here, this is what I had set up, but it's kind of quieter on this side. But you can see, yeah, we're out here, and out in the distance there's that thunderstorm piece that we keep looking at, because that's supposed to hit here in about 2 to 3 hours. And so that's the reason why we went light today. All right, here I'm going to go down here, move everything down a little bit, because this side's out of the wind. If I fish this side, I want to see if I can get anything kind of playing around here. So bear with me. Just walking down to the next set of lights. Okay, and it's definitely shallow here. I can. It's low tide. We're going to be on a rising tide here up until 5 in the morning. And what that tells me is because we got all that water movement, we should see the bite pick up throughout the night. But unfortunately, we do have a thunderstorm to deal with here. So that's going to throw things. So, and when I'm going light like this, I bring some pliers. I got these little fish grips because I hate getting poked by them hard heads. And then I'll bring my little bait bucket, one that I picked up from Island Tackle way back in Port Aransas on another trip. And currently we're here Galveston 2024. This is our annual fishing trip to fish the piers. Some days we'll hit different piers. Other trips we'll just kind of hit this one. It just depends. So here we are under the lights. Okay, just reading through the comments. Looks like some comments. But yeah, something's coming. Something's brewing. But hey, best time to go fishing. You guys have heard me before on this channel and on these live streams. Whenever you can. So good or bad, you get out there with a line. All right, because you don't know when the next time you'll be able to go. There's a hit. A little tap tap. I'm just reeling slowly, keeping tension on the line. There's a hit. Another hit. And I suspect it's those sand trout. I just did see, look like not a speckled trout, but another fish go by. And this side's less windy because the wind is to my back. So I'm hoping that the microphone is at least keeping it to where it's audible. Oh, there's another pop. There we go. Okay, got another hit. And you'll see that I won't reel in right away because fishing tandem rigs as well as sabiki rigs, once you get that first fish on the rig, you'll be surprised how many other fish all of a sudden just get hungry and want to hit the other rig or the other lures on that rig. So when you're fishing like so, you kind of just bring it in and feel that fish, keep the tension the whole time, and let them load up. Okay, so sometimes you'll see some folks out there catching on a 5-6 rig or 6 lure sabiki rig. They'll be bringing in 5, 6 fish at a time. Yours truly is using a 2-rig, tandem rig, spec rig. And that one, I'll double up as well as singles throughout the night. Right now, I'm just kind of enjoying the bite. All right, so there's multiple hits there. Let's go back to this side here. Flip-flop back and forth, and nice time to be out. There's not too many people on this section. There's a lot more on the end. I did see that it cleared out a little bit. Okay, but I'm starting to hear that thunder in the background more. And I'm seeing a lot more lightning as well, so don't know how much longer we'll be able to stay out here. Okay, so cast it out, maintain the tension on the line. I'm feeling the taps. Okay, there's another tap, another one. Okay, and just keeping the tension right here. Bringing it in, keep it in the current, and there's still a steady tap. I actually may have one on, maybe a little guy. Nope. Oh, yeah, it is a little guy. Oh, he got off. And I suspected those little sand trout. And just cast a little bit further this time. Normally I'll kind of fish the edge of the light and then bring the lure back in. Other times, like I'm fishing Copano Bay or Copano. I've been pronouncing it wrong all these years, but over there in Rockport, Texas, we'll fish over there under lights, and that's a pretty fun time. There we go. There, he's off. He's off. Little sand trout, speckled trout just went by. But yeah, it's quiet night with a chance of rain that'll cut our little trip short, but still enough to get a line wet and hopefully catch a fish or two. There we go. There's a hit. Oh, he's a little guy. He's off. He's off. Little guy. I think what they're doing is the little ones are kind of holding on to the fish bite, but not grabbing or not getting hooked. And the bigger ones I'm able to hook. Yeah, we're getting a lot more lightning now. Okay, let's just bring this guy in slowly. Okay, more taps, more taps. Okay, good taps. There's one. Oh, yeah, that one wanted to play. This one wants to play. He's off. Off again. All right, now I'm gonna fish kind of parallel to the pier and kind of work this area here in this angle just to see if there's something lurking. Okay, let's bring it in slowly. There's another pop. Just saw a needlefish go by. Okay, again, just a steady retrieve like so. There's another pop. Watching the end of my line, feeling for stuff. Oh, there's a little guy. Oh man, the dreaded hard head. Actually, it's a little baby gaff top. Okay, this one you got to be careful of because it's like a catfish, but it can poke you and give you a little ouchie. And I think there is some kind of venom deal that they got. What I'll typically do is I like using these fish grippers and kind of using it to help me get the fish off the line. Right. Main thing is you gotta be careful of is those spines, because they are sharp and they will poke you. Okay. Well, let's see if I can do it the other way where you just kind of flip it off. Yep, there we go. All right, faster release. But yeah, I can see the lightning activity is getting worse, so ooh. It's about, what is it? 1:10. Wasn't supposed to hit till 4 or 5 o'clock, so maybe here sooner. And kind of cleared out, so I'm only see two people down this way. And then over here, fair amount of folks still on the end, but not near as many. So yeah, I think it's clearing out. Probably could go check it out here, but I don't know. This lightning stuff, I made it to where I can get to the car fairly quickly and, you know, stay out of the thunderstorm. But let's see. Bear with me. I need to get to my source of complex carbohydrates. All right. Okay. Let's see. Little Lone Star Light, because you got to watch the calories now. All right. Let's just kind of chill. See what we got out here. And yeah, we'll try out the fish bites and tandem rig here. Oh, okay. So, let me go grab it real quick. The right here, when your fish bites get all torn up, they leave this little mesh-like thing, and you got to cut it off. I mean, I think it's like almost like a medical cloth or gauge. I don't know exactly what it's called, but let me grab my other fish bite I had here, right there, and I'm gonna rebait it. And basically, you got to use your knife to get them off. And let me see where I put it. I think I had it on the ground over here earlier. Okay. Let's see what we got. I think I put it back in here. Yep, there it is. I keep it simple when I'm using my knife for bait fishing. I pretty much just pick up one for like $1 on the end of the pier or at the pier store, because how many times I've lost knives on a pier in the water, and it's a killer losing a really good one. So I tend to just get one of these guys, and if I lose it, I just run back and buy me another one for $1, and I'm good to go. All I need is really just to cut bait and cut line, so it just has to be sharp enough, but you can sharpen it if you want. But oh wow, this thing's all clobbered. So let's go ahead and get that cleared out here. All right. These fish bites are great, but this little deal here is always a pain. So you end up have to cut it like so to get it off your hook. Usually you can, if you're just using fish bites and no other lure or whatnot, you can usually just leave it on there and just keep stacking it on there till you have a bunch, and then you cut it. But for these, I like to go ahead and keep them fairly clear so that it doesn't impede the action of the fly, or in this case, the lure. Oh, I mentioned fly. I do a lot of fly fishing. All right. Okay, let's see. Here we go. See some more. A little moonlight, and they are chasing that. How old are you? I think someone asked that again. How old am I? I'm legal in all states. How about we say that? Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and cast it out. Okay, again, I'm just gonna let it drift. Keep tension on the line. Got that little hard hit here. I may go back to where we were getting those sand trout and just bear with the wind. Yeah, let's do that. Don't like taking off hard heads all night, because man, sooner or later you're gonna get poked by one, and it's not that it's a painful experience. You just gotta watch for the infection possibility, and then at the same time, yeah, it is painful at times, especially if it's a deep one. All right, so bear with me. I'm just grabbing my gear, and I'm gonna move back where we were. So one thing when you're adjusting for pier fishing is you can always just kind of move up and down the pier looking for that particular location where they are at. And in this case, this set of lights shooting over into the water, there's actually a bunch of these little fingerling hardheads, as well as I'm seeing a consistent amount of fish moving about. Like there's some right now in the water. Okay, bear with me. Let's see what we got here. Some more comments. Good scissors would help. Yeah, it's a good one. Yep. Let's see. All right. Okay, so right here, if you just kind of watch, you'll see some flashes, and that's the fish coming up, kind of popping about, and as well as some shadows. Like there's one that just went by. Here's a whole school. I don't know if you can see them, but there's a whole school of these little fingerling, gaff top, and hardheads. Basically that fish that I just caught. Speckled trout just went by. Okay. All right, and normally we'd be fishing here longer, but right there is why I went light tonight, is if you look out in the distance, you'll see that. And there's a forecasted thunderstorm supposed to be arriving here tonight or later this morning. Okay, so I cast, let it drift, keep tension on the line, feeling for the strike. All right, nothing there, so recast. And this is the same rod I use when I'm freshwater fishing, using Senkos. And just like Senkos, I'm actually watching the line. There's a hit, good hit. It's like a little guy, so let's go bring him in. Take a look at him. He may be big enough that I'll put him on the other rod. Okay, little sand trout. They get bigger than that, but for now, we're just gonna take this guy, transfer him over to the other rod right here. And I'm gonna fish this side because I want it to kind of drift into the current where the sinker is. Okay. And here I'm gonna. Oh, man down, man down. Okay. I got a 8/0 hook, and I'm gonna just kind of poke them through the back, right here, like so. And I'm using that weedier line setup. Learned this years ago from some other individual who uses weedier line, and then I kind of modified it to handle these short boat rods, and use this malin wire that allows me to not worry about a shark cutting off. Only time we really get a break off is if the shark's big and he rolls on the line on us and he cuts the main line. Okay. All right, so let's just let that one kind of soak and see what happens. Okay, drop a GoPro. I was thinking about it, but I brought my Water Wolf camera. I was thinking about bringing it, put it in the water and see what happens, but you gotta kind of time it right, because right now it's really cloudy, murky water, and typically it really gets like that. It will clean up. Like the other night when we were here, you could see to the bottom, green water, or correction, yeah, green water, really clear. And in fact, when I caught that stingray this morning, yeah, it was, I was sight casting to it. And that's the one we were going to use for shark bait tonight, if it wasn't for that thunderstorm or storm that's pending. All right, so let's go ahead and try again. Cast it out. Just let it drift. There we go, there's a hit. Watching the line, feeling for the strike. It's mainly little guys like that one. But in there, I'm seeing some pretty nice looking, look like sand trout as well as speckled trout down there. Okay, the difference between a sand trout and a speckled trout, one has speckles or spots and the other doesn't. There's some other differences, but that's the quickest way to tell. So, bear with me. Let me get this guy unhooked and then I can give you a closer look. Okay, so this is a sand trout. Oh, that was a sand trout. All right, one has spots, one doesn't. All right, both of them have the weak mouth, or also what they call weak fish. Is that weak mouth is very paper thin, almost like a crappie mouth. If you remember what a crappie mouth is, it's kind of got that membrane around the mouth, and it's very, very fragile. Okay, okay, we just go drag it through again. There's another pop. All right, nice. That's fun stuff. Do this all night. Well, actually, we did that all night. And the only reason why we're not doing it again is we got that thunderstorm. But we'll be back out after the thunderstorm, back out here again. So stay tuned. Probably do another one of these live streams. Just depends on what's biting, what the conditions are, and see if we can keep you interested in the action here. So there we go, another one. And again, for those that ever want to come out and try, I'm just using the H&H spec rig, topped off with some fish bites, and they come tandem rig. Locally, it's like $1.99, I think, over here at the stores, Walmart, I mean, shoot, just any bait shop you go to. I think even over here at the pier. This is a Galveston Fishing Pier, also known as Jimmy's Fishing Pier, also known as 91st Street Fishing Pier. It's there's 3 piers here. There's 2 that you use that are for fishing. The 61st Street and the 91st are Galveston Fishing Pier, and then there's the Pleasure Pier, which is more like an amusement area. It's got restaurants as well as a Ferris wheel and different rides and whatnot. And that's further down the road here. Let's see. Back out that way is where it's at, and then back that way we're at the 91st, so 30 whatever is blocks up is the 61st Street Fishing Pier. All right, what if you cast into a big shark? How do you get up there? So what we typically do when we are fishing the piers, we come out with field gear. We'll have our pier cart, our bait buckets, or ice chest with lots of water, plus we'll have a pier net. It's basically, it looks like a huge crab net, and that's what we've used to bring up some pretty good.
Okay, we're gonna have to call it. It's getting late here, and yours truly has to get back to his day job, so bear with me. Okay. What's up with this? Okay, well, we'll go ahead and close out this stream. Appreciate you guys joining, and hopefully we'll be back online this time, giving you some live streams of a restream. Definitely talked about Denison. Definitely did some pond fly fishing. No, by the way, did a little throwback. Go back to Galveston. We'll be over there here in another month, out there fishing for some saltwater fishies. Right, all for now. Next time we'll catch y'all later. Good luck and good fishing.